Hello friends, in this video we will be discussing Gender Vulnerability Index. The topic is for RBI Grade B 2018 and NABARD Grade A and Grade B 2018 exams. Before we move on, let us discuss an outline for our discussion. We will be discussing the relevance of the topic, reference news, the Gender Vulnerability Index, about Plan India, about the purpose of study, the GVI index parameters. Then we will discuss the findings and significance of the index, and then in the last we will discuss the MCQs. The relevance of the topic to both the exams has been discussed in this slide. For the NABARD Phase 2 under section Economic and Social Issues, the topic of Gender Vulnerability Index is to be covered for the topics gender issues, education, health, poverty and human development. For RBI exam also, for Phase 2 Social Economic Issues or Economic Social Issues, the topic is to be covered for gender issues. So the topic of our discussion is very relevant to both these examinations. The topic has been picked up from a reference news, and the news was that Uttarakhand is placed at 13 out of 30 states in the first ever nationwide Gender Vulnerability Index, that is GVI, ranked behind bigger states like Punjab and Maharashtra. Therefore, this was the news in newspapers that first ever Gender Vulnerability Index has been released and different states have been ranked according to their performances. Now let us begin with Gender Vulnerability Index. It is the first ever index being prepared in our country that measures how a gender is vulnerable to different parameters and hence affects their survival. The index is a composite index and it was developed by Plan India's, and it was developed under Plan India's Plan for Every Child campaign. This campaign is targeted at understanding the problems that women and girls face in difficult circumstances. So the index has been developed by Plan India. We have to keep in mind this, and it was developed under Plan for Every Child campaign. The aim of the index is to comprehensively capture and track national efforts for empowering girls and young women, because the index takes into account a number of parameters, so it comprehensively takes into account that how different factors affect the safety, the education, health, etc. or of gender, of a particular gender, mainly concerned about girls and young women. This index ranks the states in a according to their performances, and these performances are evaluated against parameters which are then combined to give a composite or overall ranking. The index is being computed by analyzing 4 parameters. These 4 parameters are health, education, poverty and protection or safety from violence. So these are the 4 factors based on which the entire index is based, and the ranking for states and overall India are given. The next point here is that under this study or report, Goa is the safest place or the state for women and girls in India, while Bihar is ranked lowest for their safety and security. The another important factor or a point for the index is that index is a score. It is a score, and the ranking is based upon this score. The score is on a scale from 0 to 1. The score closer to 1 means the performance is the better, right? So it is a score in which a number is given between 0 to 1 to each state, depending on these 4 factors, and a composite number, overall number, is then evaluated, and all the states are then ranked according to these overall scores obtained. Since the index has been prepared by Plan India, it is important to know some information about this organization. Plan India is an NGO and it is a member of Plan International Federation. It is a nationally registered independent child development organization. It is committed to creating lasting impact on lives of vulnerable and excluded children, their families and communities. So this organization is mainly concerned about child development, and in the past few years a number of steps have been taken by this organization and its partners to improve the lives of children, and some of those steps are access to protection, providing basic education to children, providing proper health care and a healthy environment. Next is livelihood possibilities for children and participation in decisions which affect their lives. So these are the certain ways in which the organization has helped the children for their development. Coming to the purpose of study, the study was aimed to understand the gender inequality and exclusion of women and girls from basic human rights. The study basically aims to assess how the different efforts by the governments have resulted in development of girls and women in the country, and how much more efforts are required to take a big change to improve their conditions. So the purpose was to generate a normative consensus on the status of girls and women in India, taking into account their condition of education, health, poverty and protection. These are the 4 parameters on which the gender, that is women and girls, have been assessed for their present status, which indicates how the previous efforts have worked and what more efforts we need to improve their condition. Next, these studies also aimed at identifying the vulnerabilities faced by girls and women, so that there can be efforts that contribute to a developmental dialogue for gender sensitive solution and gender transformation. That is, efforts can be taken to remove these vulnerabilities which hinder the overall development of girls and women in the society. Here in this we have all those 4 parameters. It is poverty, health related issues, safety and protection, and literacy or the education. As I've already mentioned many times, there are main 4 parameters used to calculate the GVI index for each state and overall India's score. These are protection or the protection, safety from violence. Second is poverty. Third is health and education. These are the 4 factors or parameters. Each parameter is a combination of a number of indicators. The protection against violence has 26 indicators. Education has 68 indicators. Health has 57 and poverty has 19 indicators, and collectively all these indicators form these 4 parameters, and hence these 4 parameters ultimately lead to this index, gender vulnerability index score. The data has been collected for this study from diverse sources, and these include the census from 2011, National Family Health Survey 4, Health Management Information System, District Information System, Rapid Survey on Children, Annual Economic Survey, Annual Survey on Education Report, and National Achievement Survey. So the data has been collected from all these sources. As just mentioned, that the index parameters are further divided into indicators. and these all indicators are used to get the status or assess the status of girls and women in the country. So there are certain prominent indicators for gender vulnerability, and these are safety and protection, health and survival challenges. Third is illiteracy. Fourth is poverty. Fifth is policy framework and implementation. Next, climate change and migration. Next, digitalization vulnerabilities. Here we can mention that digital illiteracy among girls and women is more as compared to men, right? Then we have social cultural practices which hinder the development of girls and women. Next is rural urban vulnerability. So there are certain things which certain problems which are particular to rural areas, or some problems are particular to urban areas. So those also hinder the progress of girls and women in India. So these all are the prominent indicators taken into consideration to calculate gender vulnerability index. Now let us discuss the findings of the report in detail. We have top 5 states. These are the top 5 states. Goa is the topper. Then second position is held by Kerala, and third position is held by Mizoram, fourth by Sikkim, and fifth by Manipur. We can see that these all are small states. So and the index or the score is above 0.6 for all these 5 states. Similarly, there are the least or the bottom 5 who have performed least well. These are at number 26. There are total 30 states, 29 states plus one national capital region, that is Delhi. So in total there are 30 states to categorize, to rank these. The states at bottom 5 are these. At 26 is Arunachal Pradesh, then Jharkhand. Delhi, the capital of India, is at number 28, UP at 29, and Bihar is the last one at rank 30. We can see here the score is about 0.4, 0.41 for Bihar, 0.44 for Delhi, and 0.45 for Arunachal Pradesh. Here we have the different indicators, parameters. Each parameter, there are some states which perform the best and some performs the worst. So let us discuss those which performed best in terms of education. These are Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Punjab, Maharashtra, and Goa, while the worst performing states for education are Delhi, Arunachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Meghalaya, and Madhya Pradesh. Similarly, for health, we have best performing states Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Sikkim, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. Here we can find that these are mostly southern states of India which are performing well on the health parameters, while those in the north are performing the worst. These are Bihar, Haryana, Jharkhand, Meghalaya, and Uttar Pradesh. For the third indicator, that is third parameter, poverty, we have best performing states where the poverty is least or less as compared to other states. These are Manipur, Mizoram, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh, while worst performing states are again Bihar, UP, Jammu and Kashmir, Assam, and Jharkhand. So we can see that Bihar and UP are among those which remain on the worst side, while the best performance is being done by either small states or those in south, right? And even eastern states of our country are also performing well. So it is a good sign that northeast states are also cooperating and coming at the same level with other states in the country. Here we are looking at the map of India. In this map, the different states have been colored in different colors, and these colors signify the level of performance. For example, the best performance states are colored in green color, while the poor performance are covered in red. The yellow signifies the satisfactory performance and the purple signifies the unsatisfactory performance. There are in total 30 states ranked from 1 to 100, 1 being the best performer and the 30th being the poorest performer. One goes to Goa and 30th goes to Bihar. Then GVI is presented as a single figure at national level. First we have calculated under each indicator for each state. Then we have combined those indicators to form into 4 parameters, and then again from those 4 parameters for each state we have calculated one gender vulnerability index, and then for all the 30 states we have converted this into overall national score for India, that comes out to be 0.5314. And here we can see that this is in next slide we will see that this score falls in the category of unsatisfactory performance. Overall, India's performance lies on unsatisfactory performance. And coming on to this map again, we can see that these are the states which perform the worst. These are Bihar, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, and one northeastern state is Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the poorest performing states, and it also includes Delhi over here at number 28, right? Then we have the best performing states, the small states of the country. Here we have Himachal, Punjab, Goa, the topper, right? And here we had Bihar, the poorest performer. Then Karnataka, Kerala, and here we have Mizoram and Manipur among the best performing states of the country. Then moving to the satisfactory performance states of the country are Gujarat, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu and Uttarakhand. And then we have unsatisfactory performance by states, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, here we have Haryana, Odisha, West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya and Tripura. So we have taken an overall look, and we can see that the northern belt has poor performance as compared to southern India. Either they are poor or unsatisfactory. Only 2-3 states are performing best, which are Himachal, Punjab and Sikkim over here, and the rest are mostly in South India, right? Here we have the overall score for India, that is 0.5314, but this has been broken into 4 indicators, which is as follows. For poverty the score is 0.49, for protection the score is 0.63, for education the score is 0.499, and for health and survival the score is 0.526. So among these all, it is best performing for protection and the least performing for poverty, right? For health it's okay, it's at satisfactory level, right? So we have briefly discussed about the overall performance of each of the states of our country. Here the complete ranking are given along with the score and rank for each state has been given. First is Goa. Then we have discussed already top 5 are these: Goa, Kerala, Mizoram, Sikkim and Manipur. And the last 5 are from Arunachal Pradesh to Jharkhand, right? These are the poorest performing states, and here at the top are the best performing states with green, right? In the middle we have satisfactory performing states, and then we have unsatisfactory performance by the states. So we can see here the score that about 0.6 and above, 0.59 and above are best. Green means best performing, and 0.54 to 0.59 are among satisfactory performing states, and from 0.483 to 0.530 are among unsatisfactory, and below 0.467 are the poorest performing, and the overall score for India comes at 0.531. We need not to learn the score for each and every state. We have to learn the overall score for India. The score of the top 3 you can learn for Goa, Kerala, Sikkim, and the least poorest performing states like Bihar and UP and Delhi. Delhi is also the capital, so we have to learn the score and rank for Delhi as well, for Bihar, Goa and India overall. So at least these 4 should be covered. Now moving on towards certain findings of the reports. This data that we have just covered is then translated into some inferences which can be drawn from the report, and here are some of those mentioned. Let us discuss them. The first is West Bengal has the highest rate of child marriages. These are derived from the indicators that we have mentioned earlier, which then goes towards the 4 parameters, and then it goes towards the overall index of a particular state, right? So West Bengal has the highest rate of child marriages. The next finding is Meghalaya is among the states with highest ratio of girls to boys in the school. Third statement here is that Delhi has the highest crime rates against women. This is a kind of important line. This information can also be used for essays, and these can also be asked for MCQs as well. The next statement is Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh and Meghalaya have highest dropout of girls from schools. Then in terms of participation of women in workforce, Jammu and Kashmir has the lowest participation, right? Then girls and women in Haryana, Bihar and Jharkhand are the most undernourished. So you can see that these are most of the factors which led to unsatisfactory performance by these states which are at the bottom of the index. Example Bihar, Jharkhand and Delhi. So you have to remember these few facts for the MCQs as well as for the essay purpose. The significance of Gender Vulnerability Index lies that it has assessed the current status of girls and women in our society, and hence it will assist the policy makers to look at the programs that have been targeted towards women and girls for their leadership, autonomy and empowerment. It is a kind of assessment that what the previous programs have done and what further needs to be done to improve the condition of girls and women. The next significance is that it will help activists and policymakers and social implementers to prioritize issues around gender equality and women. So the indicators which are very poorly performing in poorly performing states, activists can take their efforts or activities to prioritize those indicators in those particular states, and those steps which have been taken to improve the condition can be highlighted and emphasized for improving the condition. The report is also helpful in identifying the mechanisms to curb violations against women and child with regard to education, health, poverty, and protection. Therefore, by gauging at the indicators and parameters, we can find out what are the loopholes we are lacking our efforts, so that we can plug those loopholes and provide a better environment for education, health, and economic development, as well as safety and protection for women and girls in our country, and hence improve the overall gender vulnerability index for the country as well as for each and every state in the country, to make it a better place for women and girls to live in India. It is also important to mention here the criticism of the report. The criticism is that it leaves out trans people from the index calculation. The transgender community has recently been recognized by Supreme Court as the third gender, and therefore this community must have been included in the survey while calculating the gender vulnerability index, but this has not been done, and the study only concentrated on the women as the only gender to calculate the gender vulnerability index. We have discussed gender vulnerability index in detail, and now we will be proceeding towards the multiple choice questions based on our discussion. Question number 1. Gender vulnerability index is released by option A, Plan India, option B, Niti Aayog, option C, World Economic Forum, and option D, World Bank. The answer for question 1 is option A, that is Plan India, which has released this index. Then moving on towards question number 2. Which among the following is not a parameter for gender vulnerability index? The options are option A, health, option B, education, option C, political empowerment, and option D is poverty. We have already discussed there are 4 parameters for this index. These are health, education, poverty, and protection. So here in the question we have been asked which of the following is not a parameter. So we have to choose which is not a parameter, and here the answer is option C, the political empowerment. Political empowerment is not a parameter for gender vulnerability index. Question number 3. Which of the following are true about gender vulnerability index? There are 4 statements given here. Statement 1. Index scores can be measured on a scale of 0 to 1. Statement 2. Goa is the best performing state in India. Statement 3. The purpose of Gender Vulnerability Index is to generate a normative consensus on the status of girls and women in India. And the statement 4 is it also includes trans people. So the options given here are option A, statement 1, 2 and 3 only are correct. Option B, statement 2 and 3 are correct. Option C, all of the statements are correct. And option D, none of these is correct. So we can see that statement 4 is wrong because it doesn't include trans people. This is the criticism. Statement 3 is correct. statement 2 is correct, and the statement 1 is also correct. So the correct option for question number 3 is option number A. Question number 4. India's overall score in Gender Vulnerability Index is option A 0.625, option B 0.531, option C 0.505, and option D 0.410. So we have to take the correct answer taking India's overall score. So here the correct answer is option B, that is 0.531. Option B is the correct answer for question number 4. Moving towards question number 5. Which of the following is true about the findings of Gender Vulnerability Index? There are three statements given. First is West Bengal has highest rate of child marriages. Statement 2 is Meghalaya is among the state with highest ratio of girls to boys in school. And third statement is Delhi has highest crime rates against women. The options given are option A, statement 1 and 3 are correct. Option B is statement 2 and 3 are correct. Option C is none of these, and option 5 is all of these. Here all these statements are correct. Therefore the option D is the correct answer for question number 5. So these are the answers to the MCQs. I hope you have attempted maximum correct answers. So we have just discussed Gender Vulnerability Index in detail. For other videos you can visit www.edutap.co.in. Thank you and happy learning.